Hey guys, Engineer Wannabe here. Another beautiful Saturday evening, prime time again. So it seems like this time is going to stick because works with Keith, works with a whole bunch of others. Toran always was the uh, the guy who always made it, whether he
I got
was
nothing better to do on a Saturday.
I was gonna say, not that he doesn't have a life, but
yeah. yeah. But yeah, it's good to see you guys. Good to see you, Toran and Keith. How are you guys doing? And
great.
what's on your
Pretty
wrist?
good.
Oh yeah.
Keith, you want to go?
On
Seeing
my
as you're
wrist
clockwise.
today, the Laurier Neptune
Nice. Wait.
Series 3.
I'm fumbling. There we go.
Series 3 with the gilt in
Nice.
black
And plexiglass.
and plexiglass. Yeah, I asked Torin after he posted the video about the Speedy if he's ever worried about scratching the
The
Tesla
Hasselhoff,
light.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you weren't, so that's good.
Yeah. Mine is still pristine. I've been wearing it a lot and it's got nothing on it. So yeah. More durable than you think.
Yeah, I could have sworn I've hit it a couple of times and I do not see a scratch at all, so
Yeah. When I was sizing the bracelet for the first time, I was fumbling with those horrendous screws, those two
Yeah.
screw heads with the bar in the middle. And I dropped one side when I was trying to yank the link off. So the bracelet fell upwards onto the crystal, and I was like, oh, great. It's a plexiglass, and I've ruined it. Not a mark
Oh
on
wow,
it.
yeah.
So, that was on metal. So I'm sure if you had a door jam or something, it'd probably be bad, or a seatbelt buckle, but how often does that happen?
And
That
would you say,
never happens.
and maybe it depends on the watch, but would you say you always prefer, like, if you could have the look of the plexiglass, would you always prefer that, or do you like sometimes the look of sapphire?
I would always prefer the look of plexiglass.
I like a double AR treated sapphire.
Yeah. When you do that, though, it gets really close to plexi. So I
Mm.
feel at least. So I don't know. Double AR coated sapphire is really nice, which is on my wrist. But what's how's your week going, Torin? And what's on your wrist?
Yeah, no, things have been going pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and today I am wearing the Grand Seiko.
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah,
Fumbling again. Hang on. There we go.
I saw you were wearing your 9F yesterday, I think, for Bobby's.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to pull out my SBGN 003.
Yeah. Looks great. That does not have double AR coating, but Grand Seiko's single AR coating is insanely good.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I could have swore this was double AR.
No. Grand Seiko, they do it on their SAR X055. A lot of their SJE models. My Alpinist, the King Seiko, they have a single AR coating on the underside. It's so good. Proprietary AR coating. It looks like it's been coated on both sides, but
yeah, insanely legible watch. It's one of the reasons why I like it so much.
Yeah,
even though it's smaller for my wrist.
Yeah, no, it looks great on you. It's perfect. Seiko has really great naming schemes for their stuff, so they called it their super clear coating, which is great. Great job, Seiko. Give the marketing team a raise.
Yeah. What a brainstorm session for that one.
I mean, that's well.
Yeah. Well, my week has been great as well. It's been a torturously hot week, but we made it through. On my wrist is the Planet Ocean double AR coating. 39.5 millimeters, previous gen, kinda. It's not. It's on its way out, kinda. With the older movement, but yeah, great watch.
So, compared to the Oris Aquas that you had, that's also 39.5, which one wears bigger or smaller, or is it the same?
The wearing, I think, is about the same. The way they wear. The comfort is leaps and bounds going for this guy, like leagues above. kind of because the case is not just a kettle shape. So it has kind of a belt line going, and it's got steps to the case. Let me show it to you guys.
Yeah, I saw your video on it yesterday. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's got a few steps to the case. It's really comfortable to wear. Really low center of gravity and all that. So um yeah, I do really miss the Oris though. Um I don't have a blue watch in my collection, and it's really eating away at me now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, I can't decide if I want to let it go or not. I think I might miss it. I don't know. I don't have to make a decision right now, but for some reason I'm like putting pressure on myself that I do,
Yeah.
even though there's no reason to.
Yeah.
I do think that they're gonna eventually release the caliber 400 in the blue in the 39.5, which may or may not decrease the value of the Clean Ocean,
I
even
don't think
though
so.
it's not comparable.
Yeah. I don't think it would change the value.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Okay.
no. Clean Ocean, yeah. It's always going to be the first watch that had that dial. It's got that red triangle, which the others don't. It it looks better, ever so slightly.
True.
But it is the same dial that's on the 43.5 millimeter caliber 400 and the 41.5. It's the same Clean Ocean dial, um, which is interesting that they did that. This must have been. I mean, it was something I was asking for. I always wanted when I let go of the Clean Ocean the first time, I wanted that dial in a 41.5 or intermediate size. Yeah, but great watch,
Yeah.
great dial.
Oh yeah, fantastic dial.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, let's go into the chat, guys. Good to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. Let me know let us know what's on your wrist, and let's go. Dan, good to see you. Welcome. Jeffrey as well, and Chaz. It was great chatting with you last night, Chaz. I didn't know my name would become a verb, but hey, you made that happen. Bill, good to see you. Keith, hey man, how's it going?
Hey, good.
Let's see. Peter's here as well. Good to see you, Peter. Justin, good to see you. Regulators, mount out. Cool. I'm guessing Chaz has a regulator. Peter has a regulator. Bruno, good to see you as well. Let's see who else. Hey, who's this guy?
I don't know him.
Yeah. Wilson, good to see you. Hey, Oil Money's here. Good to see you, man. Watching. Just finished watching Apollo 13 Deep Impact. What a flick. If you guys don't get that reference, check out yesterday's Bobby Legs' Friday night live stream. I thought I got that for sure. I thought that was Deep Impact, but oh well. Good to see you, Caliber YKG. Fatal Fred, good to see you. Mezzanine, hey man. Young Excellency, good to see you as well. If you guys see a fly going around, there is one in here tormenting me right now. It's a big one too. Leia, good to see you. Nice, still wearing the Brunswick. Very cool. Salmon dial.
Oh, the salmon dial, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Young Excellency, just watched the replay of last night's stream. Great to see you on there. Talking to Chaz. Hope they make it a regular thing. Yeah. Would be great to see more of you, Chaz. Toran, subscribed to your channel last week. Very good vid on the Speedy. I'll check the rest of them when I get a chance.
Thanks for the sub.
Yeah. Ken, hey man, good to see you. Checking in from Pittsburgh. Sorry if I skipped any of you guys. Oh, Herb, hey man, it's been a while. Good to see you. Desk Diver, good to see you, sir. Herb is wearing the blue Tudor. I'm guessing the Black Bay 58. Very nice. It's Broke Watch Fanatic. There we go. Caught back up. Broke Watch Fanatic. Good to see you. it is a work of art.
Mm.
Toran. Seiko, Grand Seiko, Crador almost always use inner air only. They do. It's nice that they do, and it's nice that they've got it dialed right in, so that they don't even need an exterior coating. Because this is gonna scratch. Torrance one will never scratch. Ideally speaking.
Well, it does
Uh,
help because, like, the dial furniture on Grand Seiko is so good, right? So you want to
yes.
see it.
Yeah. Good to see you, UWC. Let's see. I can't remember faces, but knows every Seiko and Grand Seiko reference number. Amazing. Who, me?
Yeah.
Faces? I remember faces. What do you mean?
I think they're talking about movies, but I think you didn't know
Oh,
them in the first place.
oh
Maybe
okay.
so.
Yeah. That's a good one. Comparing 39mm novelties, maximum watch nerd talk.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Hey, oh, it's gonna get way nerdier, man. Good to see you, Matthew. Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna guess. I was gonna guess you were wearing that, but he is wearing the SBGX 344. If you guys haven't seen the SBGX 344, it's a 9F version of, or at least what I assume to be a 9F version of the SBGY models. So 003, 007. Very beautiful piece. And his one is a two-tone. Oh, it's so nice. Maybe I should pull it up. Okay. Bear with me here. It's worth it. It really is.
Is it the same dimensions, like 38mm?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken. It is. So, not sponsored, by the way. Oh, so there it is. It even has the sunray dials of the.
Oh.
Oh man, look at that. That's great. Cool. So yeah, great choice. Great choice there, Matthew. Well done. Okay. Jeffrey, good to see you. Chaz is wearing the Omega Planet Ocean as well. Hey, we're turning tonight. EP, good to see you as well. Hey, man. Caliber YQG is wearing the Fast Rider, Black Shield Ceramic. Nice. I think Jason from Clandestine Luxury also has that. Anish, good to see you. Welcome. Man, I got to get used to this. There's a lot more people. Prime time. Captain America's got a. Okay. I have not watched Heat. Have you guys watched Heat?
It's
No.
been a while.
Okay.
But you remember the lines, the one-liners. Yeah.
No, I don't. But yeah, apparently it's a good movie. Apparently it's Mrs. Legs' favorite movie. SNR 049 looks fantastic. You remember faces? You thought Al Pacino was Captain America. He looked like Captain America. He looked like what's his name? Chris Evans. He looked like that guy. Oh, hey Bobby, good to see you as well. Thanks. Thanks for the Appalachian Trail. I'll make sure to watch it. It's good to see you all. Anyway, guys, let's get into it. So tonight I was thinking of talking about, and I hope you guys had some time to percolate, think about what the topic was going to be. But lately, I've been obsessing over a couple of different things, and I thought, hey, it'd be interesting to lay it all out there. How chaotic the mind can be when it comes to obsessing over irrational things, not just rational things. We'll talk about some rational obsessions as well, but then you got the irrational obsessions that are purely speculative and chance based, something that you can't really think about, kind of like engine oil, I guess. Using the best engine oil for a car, you might think that purple engine oil is the best. I forget what it's called, purple something. Or you might think Mobile One is the best. Or okay, I'm turning into way too geeky. Anyway, yeah. So let's kind of delve into some of these obsessions, and I was gonna kick it off with the spring bar thing. So I mentioned last night the spring bar obsession. So I've been really obsessing over spring bars because I really don't want a spring bar failure, and I don't think anyone does. But spring bar failure is my worst nightmare. And spring bars are there are so many different kinds of spring bars. Spring bars come in different diameters, so like different thicknesses. Seiko uses like the fat boy spring bars. You've got intermediate spring bars, and then you've got really skinny spring bars that Grand Seiko uses on their straps. And occasionally I found them on bracelets. And so I've been kind of really nervous when I'm using those spring bars on a bracelet, because I just assume there's a bit more stress when you're on a bracelet, and it would cause potentially the spring bar failure. So um, some of the obsessive things that I do when it comes to spring bars is I will measure how far they depress. So I will measure the cylinder of the spring bar to see how long it is, and then I will measure how much they depress. The reason I measure how much they depress is I don't want it to depress too much, because there's a chance that it will, or the spring stiffness to be too loose, because I would think that it would pop out, which it never has, but I fear that it would pop out. And I don't want the spring to be too stiff and to depress too little, because I feel if I made a mistake and the spring bar went through when I'm putting the strap on, and I push the spring bar through the watch and it comes out the other side, it'll leave a nice ding on the sharp lug, which it has done for me with my El Primero. It was gut wrenching. I was using these really sturdy, stiff, powerful spring bars, and I pushed a bit too hard. I missed the lug hole, went right through and came out the other side, and came out with such a violence that there was a dent on the lug. I mean, I'm making it sound worse than it is, but it really bugged me, and it was always on the back of my mind that when I saw that I did that mistake. I don't mind if some accidents happen, but I was careless there, and that drove me insane. So since then, I've been really obsessing over spring bars. Not even getting into like all the different kinds of spring bars. I guess there's a whole other world, but that's one obsession that I've had. I don't know.
And
Have
you've
you
never
guys?
had you've never had a spring bar fail?
No, no.
Okay.
That's just the worst case scenario that I'm trying to avoid at all costs. Um,
I mean, that's that's like definitely one of the worst case things that could happen. Let's say you have a $10,000 watch and the 20-cent spring bar fails and
yeah.
the watch I'm going to be thinking about this all the time. Thanks.
Well,
I mean, if you
I
have a
was
ten
gonna
thousand
say,
dollar watch, they're
Yeah.
using good spring bars. Like,
Well, how
like
good can
try
a spring
getting
bar
the
be? Are they
bracelet off of a Rolex. Like those spring bars are really, really tight.
yeah.
okay? So less worry with those. Okay.
um, so I wanted to make this disclaimer at the beginning that I'm really sorry if I give you guys some sleepless nights because of this. Because last time we did watch pet peeves, I actually kind of semi put some people off the Longines sector dial. I'm sure they were just messing with me, and I really hope I didn't actually put them off the sector dial. But I'm really sorry if I do something like that to you guys as well. Just turn off now if you're if you don't want to watch ruin for you. But anyway, when it comes to spring bars, this is unacceptable for me when the spring bar just falls right out. It's not doing it now, but it does fall right out. Anyway, so I need a little bit of stiffness when it comes to a spring bar going into the strap. I'm sure you can't see it, but anyway, if it falls right out, that is a no-no for me. This is perfect. So this is my Necton strap. These don't go anywhere, and they are the perfect distance out of the strap. So just enough to get into there, get in the plug hole, and not cause any wiggle or play. So
Can I get your input on your thoughts on quick release spring bars, because they
hey,
tend to
we're going to
break and
talk about
strap?
that.
Okay.
But do you guys want to comment on anything here? We'll jump into the chat real quick too. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a really nerdy, neurotic episode. um, yeah. You guys, Torin, do you have any thoughts on spring bars other than moving on to quick release spring bars?
I mean, I will say I am particular as well. I do like the slightly thicker ones. I think they're 1.8 millimeter thickness.
Yeah,
And I've actually tried to source, try and find a manufacturer that makes them really well. And I'm not being paid to say this, but if you just want good spring bars in Canada, Strap Mill Canada, if you just look at their accessories, they sell spring bars that are different thicknesses. You can get the curved ones, and you can get them in odd sizes too, like 19, 21, and up millimeter sizing. So I find they're pretty reliable.
yeah, that's actually really good to know because I bought spring bars for $5 for a pair and been really disappointed. So I didn't want to do that again unless if I knew that the manufacturers were really good. But yeah, that's a great suggestion. Keith, any further thoughts before I jump
I
into
think this
the?
is why I've never taken a bracelet off a watch because I don't even have to. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to look into various spring bar sizes and everything. And I always worry about scratching the lugs when I'm taking it out too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I don't mind scratching the back of the lugs, but if it goes through and comes out the front, that's my worst nightmare.
mhm.
That yeah, that hurt. All right. So jumping into the chat, the guys were mentioning Royal Purple. That was the engine oil I was thinking of, the purple colored oil. Some people live by it. Some people say it's the best oil on earth. I prefer Mobile One, but who knows, right? The difference is so minor that you might find out 20 years down the line which oil was the best, but at that point, it doesn't even matter. I mean, you got 20 years worth of use. uh, anyway, let's go through here. You can poke an eye out with those spring bars. You sure can. It's good if you have glasses though. You can't poke an eye out. I have a TV right here, like a 47-inch TV, and I've got a few marks right at the bottom, kind of near where the Samsung logo is, where the spring bar has hit the TV more than one occasion. But hey, it's a good spring bar stop. Um, Bobby saying that's deep. I guess so. uh, if a spring bar causes a dent on a watch lug, maybe it's more of a watch issue than a spring bar issue. Yeah, you could say so, but see, this happened to me with two watches: the first Omega in Space and the Zenith El Primero Chronomaster. Not the Sport, not the new one, but the previous gen Chronomaster. Um, they have such sharp lugs, so the finishing is so precise. It's like a 90-degree angle, and when the spring bar comes out and hits that angle, it's almost always gonna leave a little mark, like a little ding. It's really small, but if you know it's there, it might bug you. I know Paul has done that. We've spoken about it, um, and he does not mind it. Happens every once in a while. And yep, this will be my dissertation. You can call me Dr. Sanjay after this.
I'll
Alex,
read
good
it.
to see. Good to see you, Alex. Um, Oil money is saying only Sanchi can make changing a watch strap sound worse than a car crash. There you go. My Black Bay 58 spring bars and bracelet are super difficult to remove and scratches the lugs big time. I found removing the spring bars out of my version pretty easy, but yeah, who knows if there's like a manufacturing difference. Justin saying I'm the Canadian Jeff McMahon. Oh, Jeff's last video made me really bummed out. he's uh he's so tormented, man. It's yeah, I I can't imagine loving a hobby and hating a hobby that badly at the same time. Wanting out of a hobby so badly. Um yeah, I can't imagine being that enslaved. uh, but anyway, Jeff, we still love you. We'll always love you. Um I just make sure, broke watch fanatic saying, I just make sure I use spring bars with the same diameter tips from the OEM spring bars. You see, yeah, that's really important as well. Because the other thing that happens is if the diameter or the tips of the spring bar that go into the holes, if they're not the right size, they're gonna pop in and out, and they're gonna make clicking sounds. That's also within the spring bar. It can have a defect where if you press on the watch, it'll click. That drives me nuts as well. So if you move your wrist around, it'll do a few clicks. You find that on Seiko spring bars a lot, I find. Yeah, having the right lug hole width, I guess, diameter is important too. But I don't know how many spring bar manufacturers actually relay that information. A few microns. Pale Horse.
Sounds like you found your niche hobby right there.
Yeah.
Your side hustle. You can start making your own spring bars.
Yeah. Have every measurement given out. I think rather have a loose bar in the strap. Otherwise, the bar is going to be rotating in the lug hole. Okay, that's interesting. That's a good point, Dan. Yeah. If it's rotating inside the lug hole, it is causing wear. I don't know. It might still cause wear anywhere. I'm sure it'll still rotate inside the lug hole. Time for an experiment. GS bracelet spring bars are really thin at 1.5 millimeters, but 1.8 won't fit through the end links.
Curved spring bars. So for my GS here,
Yeah.
when I want to put a strap on it, I had to use curved 19 millimeter spring bars.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Mobile One is trash. Come on, Dan. I always thought it was great. Pens. I've heard good things about Pennzoil, but that might be because I watch Engineering Explained, and he was. Have you guys watched Engineering Explained? Great YouTube channel. He's been sponsored by Pennzoil for quite a few episodes. Recently, he was sponsored by Mobile One, though. So, Kevin S. just put Mobile One in my VW today. Mistake. Do you have a golf type R, Kevin? That would be cool. You should get a golf type R. Tape the lugs. That's a good suggestion. Penny's here. Hey, Penny. Good to see you. And Forbin Colossus. Good to see you as well, man. Your comments are the best. Along with All Monies. Sorry, All Money. You have not been replaced. Okay. Let's move on. Sorry, guys, if I missed any comments.
Well, just so I know, as a learning experience for me, for spring bars, how much, or how do you know when you're looking at one, to buy some extras, if it's good quality? Is it a certain price you look for, or what is there to look for?
Well, for me, it's always been trial and error. I haven't found a way to know if a spring bar is good. Trial and error and word of mouth. So I've heard Esslinger. They make good spring bars, I think, or they sell good spring bars. And now Strapmill Canada. So I'll check out Strapmill Canada spring bars. But yeah, that's the only way. By feel, you can tell. Like if you get a spring bar and it just squishes in super easy, it's probably one of the 200 kit Amazon spring bars. So yeah, really weak. If you release the spring bar and the end of the spring bar is kind of teetering off the edge of the cylinder, that's kind of a bad sign. If you see like browning on the spring bar, it's probably oxidizing or rusting. That's a bad sign. So Yeah, a few ways to tell if you have a good spring bar in your hands. Just squeeze it. But yeah, anyway, moving on to the quick release spring bars. This is another uh, neurotic thing that I have. I don't like quick release spring bars. Now, I don't know if this is rational or irrational, but I feel. Let me go full screen on this one. So these are one of my favorite straps. I feel this is such a huge slit cutout of a strap that you are compromising the integrity of that leather. Now, I don't have any evidence to back that up or not. I've been using this for a few months now. Been using this on and off for a few months as well. So, I mean, in about 2 to 3 years, I'll be able to tell if these start to rip. Um, then I will know for sure. But for now, when I do get a spring bar, when I do get a strap and it has quick release spring bars, and I'm really concerned, I will either cut it out and not the strap. I'll cut I'll use bolt or wire cutters to cut out the bolt on the quick release spring bar and take the spring bar out and use regular spring bars just to um, kind of what would you call it, preserve that strap a bit more, because you also wouldn't be having this little bolt pushing up on it. These ones though, these are deluxe straps, but they've started to use these shaved off bolts, so they're a bit harder to get your nail under, but they seem to be a bit less egregious to me. At least they feel a bit less. They seem to put less pressure on the strap. I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll find out. So that's kind of where I stand with quick release spring bars. I really don't like them. I recently got a Hirsch strap. Let's see if I can find it real quick. But as soon as I got it, I was thinking, yeah, those are not good. So I cut them out right away, because they were putting an immense amount of pressure. Let me go full screen here. An immense amount of pressure on those bars, as you can see. So on the strap, there was a lot of pressure on there, because they were huge. So they stuck out a lot, and they were really easy to press in. But so those came out right away. But with these deluxe ones, for some reason, I have a bit more confidence in these spring bars. So I don't know if you guys have thought of that. Have you guys been thinking at all about quick release spring bars? Again, apologies if you had never thought about it and now it's going to keep you up at night. But when you spend like $80 on a strap, you want it to last as long as possible, right? So,
Right.
yeah. Any thoughts?
I've had some bad stories with quick release spring bars as well.
Okay. Yeah.
The worst for me is for my Zin 104, I bought a strap with a quick release spring bar in it, and the bottom portion, like the shoulder where you press to quickly release it, it actually broke off. And because like they're shoulderless spring bars essentially, right? Like without you actually hitting that tab, you can't really actually get the spring bar off easily.
Yes. Yeah.
So I really had to dig in there with like my Bergeron tool, and it actually on the underside it kind of warped. Well, it definitely affected the polishing because that case is all high polish on the Zin 104, and if you just looked under it, it almost looked like a good piece of metal was scraped out of it. So I was really frustrated that I had a quick release spring bar fail.
Yeah.
And then my other pet peeve is I don't like it. Like I don't mind the convenience if you buy like an aftermarket strap with quick release spring bars. I think you go into it knowing it, but I don't like it when manufacturers will have the watch come with quick release spring bars already on the strap, because especially if it's like, say you have like for example, I'm not saying Grand Seiko does, but a lot of Grand Seikos have 19 millimeter lug openings, right? And
Yeah.
if it came with a quick release strap and you want to put on an aftermarket strap afterwards, you also have to buy 19 millimeter spring bars to accompany that strap, right?
That's a good
Because
point.
the quick release is like attached to the strap essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, you could manually remove the quick release and put it into our strap, but that's like a huge hassle.
Yeah. Now, I've never actually thought of that because I've amassed such a huge collection of spring bars on this wild journey of neurosis that I have, that I've every spring bar, a good version of every spring bar, pretty much every spring bar length. So I've never thought of that. That's a great point. Just to add on to that, I really don't like it when manufacturers use quick release spring bars on bracelets, like Formex or Rado, with some versions of the Captain Cook. They have a double
Yeah.
quick release bolts, so that bracelet is kind of tied to that spring bar. Sure, if that spring bar fails somehow, you can cut those two bolts out and put a spring bar in, but then you'd have to be concerned about being able to extract that spring bar out again. Maybe it's possible, maybe it's not. So yeah, it's not.
You're ruining this for me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have that issue with this new Zelos that I got, which
Okay.
Oh,
stick around after for my announcement on that watch.
Well, there you go.
okay.
Dan mentioned that the extra hole in the strap is a great place for dead skin to hide. That's true. Very true.
Yeah, my only issue with I have one strap with the quick release spring bar, and I can't get half the time I can't get my nail under the quick release thing to actually release it. I like really struggle with it, probably because it's not a good quality strap. But
well, no, it might be a good one because because Deluxe uses those really like kind of like sanded off bolts, whatever you call that. And because of that, it's really hard to like get this one out. But I really appreciate that because it exerts less pressure on the strap. But hey, who knows? Also, a good thing for small wristed guys when these are really low profile, like when they've been sanded down or something, is when you have a small wrist and you put it on like the last hole on a strap, and you have a average sized watch on nowadays, 39 to 40 millimeters, let's say, you're gonna see the spring bars poking out through the watch. Like you'll see them if you have a small wrist. That I found that hideous. Like I struggle with that with the Oris Big Crown Pointer Date 80th anniversary, the one I had. It looked horrendous. I hated seeing those spring bars at the end, so much so that I stopped wearing the stock strap. But yeah, that's another thing. We've been stuck on spring bars for a while, so let's let's move on to some other things. But jumping in the chat again, Bobby Legs is here. Hey man, good to see you. Oil Money is saying, calm down, Sanjay. My Patek had 18 karat gold spring bars. That's cool. Never worried a second about them. And, like I said, these thoughts that I have are most likely incredibly irrational. They, who knows, maybe the $20 200 pack Amazon spring bars work just fine. I'm not willing to wager on that, but maybe, and I am overthinking this, but, just because you guys seem to enjoy it when you peek into the chaos that's going on up here. That's it's a little peek behind the curtain. Pity the folks making spring bars for a living. Quick release is like instant coffee. Just don't do it. Yeah. I prefer no quick release, but yeah. Anish says double quick release on bracelets are the worst. Zealous does it and it's horrible. There you go. Waben says, hey man, good to see you, by the way. Weird, I love quick release. I have one strap that I like on two watches. I can swap. It is convenient. I'm not denying that. It's very convenient. Kevin is going with sapphire spring bars for the next watch. That would be interesting. I wonder how that work out. Sapphire is really hard. Do spring bars flex?
I feel like sapphire would like just scratch the hell out of your case.
It would. It absolutely would. 10 or 9 on a Mohs scale of hardness. Yeah, not good. um, I don't know what the question is, but the answer is spring bars. Good one, Chaz. All right. Bruno coming with forget spring bars. Let's talk about candy bars. Reese's peanut butter cups are my favorite.
Reese's is my favorite, so I'll agree.
Oh, there you go.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I like. I like Arrow. Arrow is my favorite.
Is it a Canadian thing? I've never heard. I don't know
Oh,
if I know
seriously?
that
You don't
one.
know what Arrow is?
Arrow? I
Yeah,
don't know.
Yeah, it's got the bubbles in it.
yeah.
Or-
It's like bubble-filled chocolate. I was gonna make a joke and say I love Arrow because I'm full of hot air, but no, you don't know Arrow. Oh man, this is crazy.
My wife is the candy bar expert. I'll ask her after this if she's heard of
Yeah.
it.
I got to share it. I got to share it in here.
Bubbles in a candy bar. That's new for me. I haven't heard that.
Yeah. So it's like pressurized gas passed through a chocolate while it's solidifying. I think what's going on. And I messed that one up, but
Oh yeah, they have the mint chocolate one too. That's really good.
yeah. So you guys don't have this over there?
Doesn't look familiar to me. Yeah,
Wow.
Peter C saying nope.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, you guys are missing out.
I always wanted to say Big Turk is good, but that was my nickname in high school.
Yeah, they are selling us air, but it's sold by weight, so yeah, you still get the same amount of chocolate.
There you
It's
go.
just
Yeah, not a
very-
USA thing. Never seen that. Okay, it's not just me.
No. Okay, Young Excellency loves it. There you go. Oh, Coffee Crisp. Yeah, that's good too. Do you guys have Coffee Crisp?
Coffee crisp. Doesn't sound familiar.
Oh wow. Okay.
Jeez.
Well, let's not dwell too long on that. Okay, let's move on to other irrational obsessions. I mean, how about you guys share something? Keith, do you have anything that you'd like to?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. My obsessions are always based around how big should my collection be? How much should I be spending? Things like that. As far as irrational, I think those are kind of rational things to the extent, maybe irrational about how much I focus on it. I don't know. What would you say? Is that irrational or rational?
Irrational in terms of someone who's outside the hobby, but rational for
True.
every watch
True.
enthusiast. So, yeah.
I think it can be irrational sometimes, like the size of your collection. If, like, to me, sometimes I feel like I just need to sell a watch just because, like, I think I have one too many.
Right. That's true.
But like, I like all the watches that I have, so it's like,
Yeah.
As far as more of the specific about the actual watch, I will say I couldn't. I had a trouble thinking of one, but I did.
When you're great.
But I do obsess over how my watch fits, which I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And I could swear that the perfect fit on my Oris Aquas is between micro address sizes. I'm pretty sure it's just in my head. But what I like to do is I put on the watch, and when I first put it on, it should easily slip over my wrist bone. That way, throughout the day, like right now, I can't do that on the Laurier. The Oris Aquas can do that, but it's tough. It doesn't easily slip over the wrist bone. So I think just it's too tight when my wrist expands. But I don't know if the middle of the micro adjust would actually solve the problem, or I can't decide if it's mental or not. I mean, I guess everything's mental to an extent. That's really the only thing I could think of.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're crazy, because it could very well be that the perfect fit is between micro adjusts. But yeah, I guess the way I've alleviated all this fitment issues is that I wear the watch a little looser regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried to get used to wearing any watch on a bracelet loose. That way it always fits. I'm always happy. And if it gets a bit tight, so what? If it'll start to fit well.
Yeah. I should do that. Right now it's on the too tight option, so it kind
Yeah,
of annoys me.
yeah. How about you, Torin? Got any nuggets of obsession?
I have lots. I don't know how many I want to share. I mean, coming into this, I think the one that I was going to touch on, and this, I don't know how much of this is marketing versus companies actually investing in R&D on this, but scratch resistant coatings. And like when I first got a couple of watches that claimed to have like my first nice Seiko with DiaShield, or like I really got into German watches for a while. So like a lot of Zinn watches that had tegamenting or Damasco with their ice hardening process. Like if I saw any scratch show up on those watches, I would just be so upset because I'm like, this scratch resistant coating is garbage. But I mean, I kind of learned to live with it. And
So do you
also,
prefer to not have it,
well,
or
no,
just
I
not scratch
obsess
it?
over when it does have it. I think like I'm just hyper focused on seeing any type of minor scratches on the case.
So have you actually put a scratch on a Zen Tegament?
I think I did on the class portion of a tegamented Zin, but
Really?
not so much on the case actually. And
Okay.
Damasco has been really good actually. Those cases that Damasco puts out are phenomenal. But I think the most notable was on I can't remember which Seiko Prospects model it was, but it supposedly had it, and I scratched up the polished bevel area pretty well as the bracelet, like the links.
Yeah.
And that like it just frustrated me because it on the hang tag, right? It would also say like DiaShield and stuff.
Right.
And this was earlier in my watch collecting journey, so I just like kind of took it as like, it's kind of like getting a screen protector on your phone or something like that, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't even do that anymore, but like
Yeah.
people invest in that like as a added layer of security, right?
Right. Yeah. I know I've been disappointed by Seiko's DiaShield because there was an instance where I had to pull out the bezel on a dive watch, and I thought, okay, this is DiaShield coated. I'm not gonna try and protect that bezel popping tool, case back opener that you use to kind of shimmy in. So I was like, DiaShield coated. I'll be fine. Right, like squeezed it in through to pop the bezel, and there was a nice scratch on it, and I was like, oh, I'm not doing that again. Yeah, so I've been let down by DiaShield. Okay, let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Still talking about candy, I see. All right. Um, Banjo, I'm not sure what Banjo scene is in
You've never
doing.
seen Deliverance?
No, what's Deliverance? Like, how
I
how
don't
Not
know
as
old
if I
are
can
you?
clueless as
explain
you
it to
are when
you, but
What?
the banjo scene, you'll know it's iconic.
Okay, I've heard that tune, so yeah.
with the DiaShield, I think it gives a different hue to the metal.
It does.
Slightly, yes.
Yeah.
Does it do you mind the look of it, or would you prefer to have just a regular steel look?
No, I
Like, would you
think
prefer to have, I guess,
Seiko and
DiaShield or
Grand
not have it?
Seiko, like I like the way they can finish metals, and even with coatings, I think they look very good. So it never really bothered me from an aesthetic standpoint.
Yeah. I found that it smudged really
Yeah,
easily.
it does
The
smudge. You're
shield.
right.
So that drove me more bonkers than actually the slightly milky hue that came from it. So that didn't bug me.
Okay,
You kind of forgot about it, but the smudging really bugs me. So in my
good
current
point.
Seiko, the only Seiko, or yeah, not the only Seiko. I now have two Seikos, but
Your
uh,
Alpinist?
no, I don't think the Alpinist has DiaShield.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, because it's
Oh, you mean your diver?
yeah, the
Yeah.
SPB 213. That one has a slightly milky hue to it, and it does smudge. So I'm pretty sure it's DiaShield coated. But yeah, um, Oil Money. I love how Sanjay drinks Dr Pepper from the Moscow Mule mug to throw us all off. I'm not sure which one's the Moscow Mule mug. Is it this guy? This is like a Yeti knockoff. Um, and this guy is my chalice. The the bronze chalice. And I've got coconut water in this, and I've got cold brew in this. Stoke cold brew. So really, I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but
I got the IKEA glass of water here.
well, there you go. How about you, Keith?
I don't know where this is from, but yeah, just a glass of water that I drank all of. So,
Yeah. I've been.
so wait, is the chalice a daily driver for you? Are you using that every day?
I use it every day. I I just love coming home from work and saying, "I'm gonna have a sip from my chalice."
It always reminds me of another movie reference, Indiana Jones.
Oh, the
And
Holy Grail, is that
the one
where?
with the Holy Grail in it. Which one is it? Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should call this my Holy Grail. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my Grail right here. Anyway, Wilson saying don't watch Deliverance. Okay. You don't have to tell me twice. It's less pleasant than the Appalachian Trail. Okay. Wow. Huh. I guess it must be okay. Anyway.
Yeah, the subject matter for that is a little lewd, I would say.
All right. That sounds good. Or bad. Okay, so moving on from spring bars and watch collections and yeah, those type of conversations to even less rational things. For me, one thing I do is how I wind manual watches. Oh, this is gonna hurt to share, but
No, please tell me.
Okay, so in my mind, heat is the enemy of lubricants and just wear. Anything that's warmer than operating conditions is going to wear faster, right?
I can't wait to hear this.
So when I wind my manual wind watches, I wind them about 15 to 20 winds to get them going. And then throughout the course of the day, I will do 10 winds here, a couple of winds there. Because when you compress a spring, you are introducing heat into the system. So you're introducing heat into the movement when you're compressing the spring. It is a negligible amount of heat because most springs are really efficient and they don't lose energy as heat, but you do introduce heat. And hey, if this watch is the watch that I'm going to keep for 30 years, I want as little wear as possible in it. And by the way, the longest I've had a watch is 1 year. But this could be the one, right? This could be the one. And
you said the same thing about the Railmaster.
It could have been the one. The Railmaster could have been the one. So I wind every watch marginally if it's a manual wind watch. So I could have a slow day at work or a moment to breathe, to relax at work. I would take my watch off, sit back in my chair, give it 10 winds, put it back on my wrist, and be like, ha, less wear.
Is that how you do it for your Speedy? Because I'm pretty naive. I've never owned a moon watch. So for me, manually winding it, I just kind of gave it 30 winds pretty rapidly and then just let it kind of die off.
Yeah, that's kind of how I do it. With the Speedy, you can't really overwind it. You can't break the spring. It's really tough. There is a lockout as well, so you'll hit a wall when it's fully wound. So you don't really have to be too concerned. I mean, as the watch gets older, maybe be a bit more cautious, but that's kind of how I do it. I'll wind it until I hit a wall, and it might take 48 hours for me to hit that wall because I'll be winding it every so often, right? So yeah, this I've actually thought of this, Dan, and I still do it anyway. The heat from your wrist will introduce more heat. Absolutely, 100%. My wrist is way hotter. But
well, you need a 10-minute cool down before you do it. So when you're getting ready for your 10 wine break,
yes,
10 minutes beforehand, take the watch off.
Yep, there you go.
You should do it in your refrigerator.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, it's like what do you call using liquid nitrogen? You could use a bath of liquid nitrogen to.
I'm an expert with liquid nitrogen, or I was during my grad school days.
So yeah, this is completely irrational. And the reason I still do it, I'm kind of over this, yeah, I don't really put much weight into it. The reason I still do it though is because it gives me a moment to kind of hang out with the watch, which
Mm.
is a whole other thing. Whole other. Anyway, gives me.
Well, your boss is gonna be like, "Hey, Sanjay, why did you get no work done today?" Well, I had to take the watch off, time my 10 minutes, then I had to wind it, then I had to check the integrity of the spring bars.
Yeah,
After all that, I mean, the day was over. So
yeah, yeah. And you have to bond with the watch, right? You gotta
yeah,
give the watch your best
yeah,
sometimes.
and my watch bonding time.
Oh, yeah. So that's uh another crazy neurotic thing that I used to do, or I kind of do, that I've analyzed myself out of, but I still do anyway. You want
Well,
me
it's
to
funny
keep going?
because, like, as someone who used to be into tech, tech doesn't last long. A couple of years, a
Yeah.
smartwatch or whatever. Mechanical watches last for a long time, even if you're not as careful with it as you are. It's like you're like the people that want to be cryogenically frozen to live
Yeah.
longer. Like this is your version of that. I feel like I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. Um. Wow, Dan only changes the date at 6:30 a.m. That's yeah. Both hands are down below the 3 and 9, so it's the safest time to change the date. I totally get that. Chaz says now we know why Sanjay prefers winter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Also, so this while I'm driving, this is a whole other thing, not to do with watches, but I used to think that you get the best fuel economy in the wintertime because you have denser air. When air is colder, you have more oxygen in it, so you're getting better better combustion, complete combustion in your engine when it's wintertime. Turns out that doesn't work that way, but anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
fuel efficiency is worse in the winter.
yeah, it
Usually.
is. They use a different mix of fuel too,
Yeah,
which
they
is less
use it. Yeah.
efficient. Yeah, but I used to, yeah, I used to say it's the best time to drive. uh, Orban Colossus winds his watch holding both arms in the freezer. Uh, Not sure what noidal means, but noidal level over the top. Uh, I wear gloves. All right. Let's see. I hope I didn't miss anyone. BDev says I use a DeWalt drill to wind my watches. Put it on the lowest torque setting, and you're good to go. No, don't do that. Unless if you have a Richard Mille and you have that tiny drill that winds your watch up. That's pretty cool, really. Toran, my speedy 1861 takes about 45 turns. That sounds about right.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Wilson says Sanjay also recommends not to put your watch in a blender when the blender is on. There you go. I highly do not recommend that. So who uses watch winders? Oh, I use a watch winder. So this actually is a perfect segue into my automatics. My obsession with automatic watches. I don't know if you guys want to add anything to what we just spoke about. If you guys have any other obsessions you want to add before we move on. No? Okay. So automatic watches. Here's how I set the time on an automatic watch. So I wake up. Thanks, Toran.
Sorry.
Okay. I wake up in the morning. I roll out of bed. I get my automatic watch on that presumably I haven't been wearing and is dead. I put it on my watch winder and I let it run. because I want to save those reverser wheels. The reverser wheels are really with Salida SW200s especially are known to go. So the way I avoid that is by letting it wind on its own
Hmm.
in a watch winder, and then I'll be back from shaving, showering, brushing my teeth, and hey, the watch is going. So I will then go ahead and give it a couple of turns, just one or two, maybe five, and set the time, set the date, and be on my way.
Well, why the
Um,
extra turns if it's already been wound?
well, you got to get it into. Oh, this is the other. Okay.
Don't provoke him.
Okay. So a watch runs best not in its last stages of wind, right? So it becomes quite erratic, generally speaking, when a watch is about to die. It'll
Like the
not run
amplitude
really
too.
well. It'll either run way too fast or way too slow. So I give it about 5 to 10 winds to get it out of that zone into the torque curve, like the flat curve of torque
But it's
being given
already
out.
out of the zone. You already put it on the winder.
No, the
Yeah,
winder it's not as efficient actually.
Oh,
yeah. So it'll be the winder will be winding it, but it won't be. And a shower and brushing my teeth, getting ready, it takes me 15 minutes. So it's really not that long,
hmm.
and yeah, it won't be enough to get it into that flat torque
I
curve section.
gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the other neurotic thing. The watch has to be running on that flat torque curve section of its power band. If it is outside of that, or I try my best to do anything that I can to avoid the erratic sections of that torque curve for a spring.
But how would you know, Sanjay, unless you put on a time grapher?
I don't know. I just assume. So yeah, most of this is completely irrational. I assume that when a watch is first wound and it just gets going, I know that a lot of manual wind watches have like a clutch that won't let it run if it is not giving the right amount of torque. But I think there's still a bit of error. Um, so yeah, I try to keep it in. I try to wind it a bit more so that it's past that section, and it's completely an assumption, but it's worked out for me so far. Um, but yeah, there you go.
Can we do a stream of your non-watch related irrational things you do?
Oh boy,
Because I would love to know what they are.
yeah, the
How
the
do you leave the
building.
house every day is what I want to know.
Yeah, I actually, yeah, I am crazy, but I am a functioning madman. So yeah, I'm able to put to death those things. Somehow put that, like, repress those feelings, and actually function during the day. But yeah,
I need to talk to your wife. Just she's
she's
got
great.
stories.
Yeah, she does have stories. Like, yeah, I tell her, hey, when you start up the Focus ST, you better not just drive off. I want you to wait at least 20 seconds. So yeah,
You know,
she
idling is killing this environment. So
but hey, but you gotta wait for the engine to get, the oil to get at its perfect viscosity. When
not
the
if
heat
you
from the
try
engine.
that purple oil.
Yeah, royal purple.
Yeah.
No, because yeah, if it's wintertime and you don't give it that 20 to 30 seconds, you're basically running dry. You're running your engine dry. You're gonna blow the engine up. Yeah, I'm just being really sarcastic, but yeah, there's a lot of really crazy things that my wife has to put up with.
Mm.
So she's great though. All right, guys. Well, that's really all I have planned. If we did try to go into real life and other stuff other than watches, we'd be here all night. Literally, we'd be here all night. But anyway, guys, yeah. Do you guys have anything to add? We'll go into the chat real quick. But Keith, any thoughts or comments?
No, I'm good.
All right, Torin.
I appreciate you, but I'm worried.
Yeah. Yes. So, hey Rick, thanks for joining us, man. Or yeah, see, I shouldn't talk to people like that. But thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Um, I find ETA 2824 movements take much more force to wind than a Seiko 4R35 6R15. Yeah, you're right. I've noticed that too, because Seiko 6R15 4R30 model, super easy to wind, really nice feeling. ETA 2824 SW200 is really scratchy and gross to wind. I don't like it. Young Excellency, the stream is adding to my watch paranoia. So, yeah, that's why I left that disclaimer at the beginning. My apologies, but hey, these are all irrational. I know that they're irrational, so don't make these your problems. I would, Sanjay, you would make a very good watchmaker. Well, thanks. I would love to work with watches. Yeah, I just don't want to go through that right now. Maybe when my kids are older, I'll have time to take apart movements. But let's see. So why didn't you just do the Seiko shake? That's a good question. No, I don't have anything to say about that other than I've heard that it's not good to do.
What? That's not good to do either.
You kind of had to for the 7S26 movement.
Yeah. I've just been told don't do that for other models. Just don't just shake back and forth. I'm not sure why. They didn't explain it to me. It just kind of stuck. So I never actually shake it like this. But yeah. Same here. I get a bit of back pressure with the SW300 in my Zin. No pushback from 6R15, my SARP 33. Yep. Sanjay's ADE treats him well because he thinks he's special. Yeah. Yep. There you go. I'll take it.
There was someone that said, "Oh, Sanjay AD treats him well because his watches have no wear." I like that one. I can't remember who said it, but
yeah. Forbin Colossus says, my neurotic thing is I don't like that I don't have a power reserve to judge how wound it is. Really, I'd like to have a view of the mainspring to see how wound it is. Yeah, that's a good point. I do use a power reserve if I have it to see what the power band might be, where in the power band the spring might be. I feel like Engineer Wannabe is spitting automatic wind bro science mixed with equal parts supernatural superstition now. Good one.
I'd love to see you do actual like scientific studies, scientific experiments with this stuff. I would love to see it.
I totally I would love to. that would be fun. Sanjay would
true.
Much less stressful life if he stuck to Grand Seiko quartz models. Yeah. I don't stress out though. I don't actually obsess about it to the point where I'm stressed out and awake at night.
I mean, to that point, this 9F quartz is like the most maintenance-free watch I've ever had. Like, it's great.
Yeah, I can imagine. My 9F quartz that I have is, set it, forget it, pick it up, wear it, whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
Rick's saying, nice to see that you have the quirks like the rest of us. Hey, so you guys have quirks too. Yep. Yes, sir. We do. Mezzanine saying thanks. Thanks, Mezzanine, for joining us. We should probably wind down now. Colin, good to see you. I don't know if you're Colin, or which Colin you might be, but hey, good to see you. But yeah, thanks guys for joining us tonight. Umani, with this last comment, he doesn't stress out because the mushrooms have a calming effect. Yeah. Oh, have you guys tried oyster mushrooms? Oh man, they're the best. They're really good.
Not that I know of.
It's so easy to cook too. Just saute them in oil, and they add flavor to anything. Yeah, really good stuff. Kind of expensive though, but oh well. Anyway, guys, hope you all have a great night. It's been a fun one. Yeah, so if you have any crazy neurotic things that you do just because you have some irrational fear about something, let me know. Leave a comment or something. We can talk about it next week. But yeah, guys, thanks Keith and Toran for joining me. Toran, I know you wanted to talk about that Zelos that you
Yeah,
had there.
yeah. Just picked it up. Well, it just came in yesterday. So this is the latest Mako version 3, but this one is all titanium.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
That's a
I'm looking
gray.
to review it next week, but also for people that watched the review, I'm also giving this watch away to one lucky viewer, absolutely free. So stay tuned for that review and the contest details. I think I might do something on the live stream like we did for the strap giveaway earlier. So
Yeah, that sounds good.
yeah,
Cool. Thanks, Toran. That's a great giveaway. So,
thanks,
guys,
man.
check out Everyday Watch Guy on YouTube. Keith, got anything to plug this week?
Nope. Leave me alone.
Yeah, sounds good, sir.
You're
All
going to
right,
be
guys.
trolling the internet for spring bars, right?
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, and taking the watches and winding them in really strange ways, like you've now learned.
Well, I know that. Sorry, I know that the crown. You don't want to wind too much on the crown. So I was kind of doing like the shake, but kind of like in a
Okay.
circle. But
Yeah.
apparently that's not good either. So.
Oh, so you've heard that before?
Well, no, I just learned
Oh.
it today.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. The only reason I don't do it is because I was told that, but I never actually looked into it. So don't hold any water to what I said. I'll probably look this up now. See if the Seiko shuffle is a good or bad thing. But yeah, guys, good to see you all, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. Stay safe out there.